I feel very blessed to have this conversation with you. How you define joy.
If you take away or erase these boundaries within you, your greatest possessions, that you're blissful. People think they
Yes.
have a car or a home is a big possession. No, the dollars are not the best possession to have. They're useful.
Right.
They're
Right.
useful to create a certain amount of comfort for us, but the best possession to have is blissfulness. You don't have to be possessed by it, because see, we are looking at these dimensions of life or aspects of life as some kind of quantities or some kind of commodity that we must have it.
Yes.
Happiness is not something that you will have, joy is not something that you will have. You just can become happy, you can become joyful, isn't it? I have joy in my life, what is that? Have you stored it in a balloon or a box or where? I'm asking. There's no such thing as having joy. You can become joyful, you can become loving, you can become blissful. So becoming blissful, becoming joyful, becoming peaceful, what does it mean? See, if your body becomes pleasant, we call this health. Everybody wants it. Body is pleasant right now, this is health. If it becomes very pleasant, we call it pleasure. If your mind becomes pleasant, we call this peace. If it becomes very pleasant, we call it joy. If your emotions become pleasant, we call this love. If it becomes very pleasant, we call it compassion. If your very life energies become pleasant, we call this bliss. If it becomes very pleasant, we call it ecstasy. If your surroundings become pleasant, we call this success. Only to create pleasantness in your surroundings, you need the cooperation of other forces and people. Because creating pleasantness in the surroundings is a skill of a certain kind. You must be able to put many forces together, otherwise it won't work. But pleasantness of body, pleasantness of mind, pleasantness of emotion and pleasantness of energies are 100% your business, 100%. There's nobody else involved in this. But right now, we have handed this over to so many people
Yes.
that somebody can determine, someone else can determine whether you are happy or unhappy. If someone can determine what happens within you, would you call this slavery? It is the worst form of slavery. Somebody determines what you should wear, what you should eat, where you should be, this itself is called slavery. But if
Yeah.
someone can determine whether you can be happy or unhappy, somebody can make you peaceful, somebody can make you… put you into turmoil, this means you are deeply, deeply enslaved. This enslavement has happened simply because you have not taken charge of your faculties. Your own thought, your own emotion, your mental and psychological structures and your physical body not taking instructions from you. If your mind was taking instructions from you, would you keep it blissful or miserable?
Absolutely blissful.
Absolutely blissful.
Peaceful, joyful. Yes.
Sometimes what you want for your neighbor may be debatable, but what you want for yourself is 100% clear, highest level of pleasantness, isn't it?
Absolutely, yes.
So when this is the case, why such a simple thing is not happening? Can I tell you a small story?
Please.
This is not really a story, this is what happened to me. When I was just 25 years of age, one day I was just sitting on a small hill near my native town. I don't know, you may not be familiar with India.
A little bit. I've been once,
Oh.
but just to southern India, yeah, in Mumbai.
Mumbai, okay. Oh, just the wrong place to go.
No, I'm coming back, and I'm
Mumbai
going
people
northern
won't
India
like
next
it, but
time.
I'm just saying that's not India,
I'm
that's
doing North
Mumbai.
India next time. As soon as
No,
everything
no, you
clears
must
up,
come
I'm headed
south.
back.
In south…
Oh, coming south?
Yeah.
Yeah?
Mumbai
What
is
part?
not really south, it's somewhere central India. Further
Central.
south is where we are and it's a more beautiful part of India. North is just plains, south is full of mountains and…
Is it near like Goa?
Yeah, Goa and further down.
Okay.
Yep.
Okay. I want to come to Goa too.
So this is a city called Mysore, where there's a small hill in the town, and I was just
Okay.
sitting there and suddenly I exploded into a state where every cell in my body was dripping ecstasy. I realized if I just don't mess with my mind, I'm ecstatic.
Yes.
Then after a few weeks of this experience, that it became such a profound experience for me, and then I decided, I was 25 years of age, and I decided and made a plan. In the next 2.5 years, I will make the whole world ecstatic. Because it's so simple, you don't have to do anything. If you simply sit here without messing around with your mind, you're ecstatic. So on that day, the population was just 5.6 billion people. So I thought in 2.5 years, I made a plan, how I will make the whole world ecstatic. See, now it's 39 years. Yeah. Well, people say
A
we've
lot.
touched around 1 billion people, but that's not
Yes.
my idea of the world. My idea of the world is 7.6 billion people. But it took me a certain amount of time to realize how invested people are in their miseries. They're
Yes.
so invested that even if you show them the greatest possibility, they don't want to leave what is familiar.
Exactly. Exactly.
So why is this happening to the world? Why so much suffering?